Welcome to the World of Warships with Captain Yamo. I am your host, Captain Yamo, and this is the Tier 7 American battleship, the Colorado. I've said this before in some of my other videos. I was kind of skeptical. I had heard a lot of bad things about the Colorado from other players, and while it may not be the strongest battleship, tier for tier, and maybe not even the strongest battleship in its tier, I think it's pretty darn good. When used properly, and not that I always use it properly. Don't get hung up on anything I say too much. I'm just trying to learn how to play the game to the best of my ability, and I find that by playing the different classes and the different ships, the strong and the weak, that I learn more and more about how to play the game in general and how to play ships specifically. For example, playing through the Japanese cruiser line, I've learned that Japanese cruisers are very tender. I've learned to protect their sides, and by doing that, I believe that I become a better player in the long run. It's not necessarily good for my win percentages. It's you keep playing these weak ships trying to figure out how to play them effectively, and you're not going to do as well as you should. I'm going to kind of spray and pray right now. It looked... Oh, so much for that. It looks like one of the fourth shots where I was around 10 on it was the thing. We'll see if we can't come around and range up for this Atlanta sitting there. Sir Osiris. And when I'm doing that, I'm looking for their speed. I'm trying to figure out how fast they can go. I'm watching them for the turn. See, I didn't fire because that guy's turning back around. And looks like he really slowed down to do that. Got set on fire. Who's hitting me? Probably the Orleans. Should I put it out? We're early on. Let's put it out. Why burn if we don't have to? And one of the things I kind of wanted to talk about was rhythm in a battle. And of course, when you're a late load like I was in this match, well, it's kind of difficult to get into the proper rhythm. To be in the proper rhythm, it's a difficult thing. It's a combination of controlling your angles and knowing what you can and can't do in your ship. The rhythm in a battleship is going to be a lot slower than the rhythm of a destroyer. You have a 20-second rudder shift time, which means that you have to consider when you want to come out of a turn 10 seconds earlier than when you do come out of your turn. Part of that rhythm is understanding the ranges, knowing that you can't use certain ships in certain situations. We just got back behind that thing. Or knowing how best to apply your ship in a situation. I have no problem throwing my ship away and getting sunk if I believe I can take down an important opponent, or I can shift a battle in favor of my team. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I'd gladly do it. But I don't want to just throw away my ship, right? I mean, what would be the point of that? You get the least amount of XP and you're not helping your team as much as you could. What kind of destroyer? Oh, I see both the destroyers. And there's a Mahan and a Benson. They're on the east and west flanks. So, in a battleship, again, like I said, your rhythm is going to be a lot slower, and it's going to be based around the guns in general, which give you about a solid 30-second time frame between when you're going to do something like I just did, where you fire. Then that means I have about 15 seconds or so to angle my ship, for possible incoming fire, then to angle back to get myself on my firing line. Ooh, we got an Amagi coming up here, but if we can close on her, maybe we can put some pain on her. Oh, she's running away from us. Part of rhythm is recognizing the ships around you and what they can do. And maybe rhythm is a bad word for it. You know, it fits. For example, when I'm talking about the Minakaze, I have a method of using the Minakaze when I get it in close range. When I start to knife fight with it, when I'm going to be using both the guns and the torpedoes. And that is not a fully upgraded Amagi, and she is not moving very fast. So let's see what we can do to her. But in attendance, she has a Nagato that's pretty heavily damaged and a Miyoko. So once I get the Minakaze into range where I'm going to use the guns, my rhythm in that is to fire one torpedo, then to fire the guns, then fire the second torpedo, then fire the guns, and then the third torpedo, and then the guns. And what I found is, when I use that rhythm in close, it's almost impossible for enemies to continually dodge, because they're going to get stuck over because of rudder turn time. You know, the only time you're going to see ships that can kind of keep up with that is when you're dealing with other destroyers, and even they have a hard time. You know, you just spread your shots wide, and almost got her. She looks like she's a little bit more than a 7. The Amagi's pulling herself out of that firing line. So right now, normally I might focus on the Amagi because of where she is and how slow she's moving, but I think I'd be a lot safer off. Oh, maybe the Miyoko would be a better target. Let's do this. She's about a 7.5 usually. Yeah, that'll do it. And then she gets erased by those torps. By maintaining that kind of a rhythm, the enemy has a hard time dodging. I'm using all the weapons on the ship and using them pretty effectively. There we go. She's out of the water. And so recognizing the rhythm of the battle, like, you know, see my turn, poorly timed. Fortunately, I didn't take a lot of damage there, and that's a good thing for me. But you start trying to filter your targets. You know, a doctor does triage in the emergency room, and we kind of want to do something similar. We want to make sure that we're engaging the targets that are most, not just the most dangerous, but the most beneficial to destroy. As that Amagi goes behind that island, she's not going to get effective shots on me, or I don't think she will. And by keeping my nose turned in towards where that Colorado was, I'm trying to prevent her from being able to get solid shots on me. It doesn't always work. And you do the best you can. It's our 11 hits 5 minutes into this, or 8 minutes into this game. Is it a 20? I think it's a 20-minute match. Nope, no hits. So yeah, you got to try and find your rhythm. There's definitely a rhythm. Looks like that, yeah, that Colorado got sunk, so that was probably the Nagato hitting me. I'd like to be shooting at the Nagato, and I could certainly use the spotter aircraft to increase my range and get shots on her. but I think that Benson is more dangerous for me right now. Gonna have to swing my guns around. How fast is she moving? She's not going that fast. She looks like she might be speeding up. Let's see. We'll go about 4. See what that nets us. Keeping in mind that the Benson just went through here, I don't want to travel in a straight line for very long. Looks like a 4 worked. I don't know where I hit. Should have been watching. Busy talking when I should have been watching. My team is just obliterating them right now. Nicely done. It looks like we're about to cap too. I'm still pretty concerned about that Benson. But she's on fire, so I'm spotting her. That's too far ahead of her. A tad. And so now I'm definitely in a position where she could easily predict where I'm headed if I don't start doing something about it. Nope. Okay, she's been sunk, and I don't want to turn too far off on this Nagato. So I'm going to go ahead and slow down and keep turning, because you know, as you're turning, you're losing speed as well. And hope that that Benson couldn't predict where I would be. Yeah, see? There's the torps. Ooh, nice. Nice shots, Nagato. Let's see where that one goes. Lost my front turret. So now what I'm looking for is I'm looking for the narrowest point where I can fire all my guns at her, which is right about there. And now that I've hit that point and gotten my shots off, I'm going to start coming back. So I can angle myself. Fortunately, I still have a forward gun. And sometimes your rhythm is going to be to fire your front guns and then your aft guns. Sometimes that's the rhythm. See, I'm a couple seconds late getting back, and now that I'm opening up, she's taking her shots on me. Paraphrasing here, but Bruce Lee said, see the enemy's rhythm, meet the rhythm, and then break the rhythm. Ooh, he did tons of damage to me right there. So I would highly suggest you try and find rhythm. Find your rhythm. It's very quick in some ships, and it changes. Like I said, with the Minakaze, my rhythm from long range is a lot more different. You know, I'll tend to launch torpedo walls and you know, launch from a distance where they can't detect me. And so it's a different feel. It's a different way of playing the game. 153,000 credits, 2,798 XP. We got what is that? Dreadnought. Receive damage exceeding 120% of your ship's normal HP from 4 or more enemies and survive the battle. Alright. We only had 19 hits. We got 1 destroyed and 1 Citadel shot. But we got a lot of talking done. We didn't do a whole lot. But we did 53,882 points of damage in the 20 hits we were able to make. And it's pretty low shooting for me. It's under 25%. And that's 25% has been my average in general when I'm using the battleships. But I think we talked about something that's kind of important, and you know, rhythm isn't just applied in the way you drive your ships. It's if you recognize that your ship has a rhythm, then you also can recognize that your enemy has a rhythm. And if you can figure out their rhythm, as Bruce Lee said, you find their rhythm, match their rhythm, break their rhythm. We got after XP, 1243 XP plus the premium bonus and the 1.5 times got us up to almost 3000 XP. It's not bad. After repair and refit, we ended up clearing 84,000. It's not tremendous, but it's all right. It's more than we spent, and we had a okay match. Well, tell me what you think about rhythm. Tell me if you have something to add to it. If there's something that you think I'm missing or any of that kind of stuff. Comments are always welcome. I like to learn about the game, and if you can teach me or I can teach you, I think that would be awesome. I'd like to thank you for joining me here on the World of Warships and hope to see you on the digital high seas.